Alright, so I haven't done a video in a minute, but this is where she stands right now. Not exactly sure what was the last video I did, but went ahead and I know that's dirty, but I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. Set that up after I cleaned up the carburetor. The needle valve was extremely stuck. I mean, it wasn't letting any gas in at all into the flow bowl, so therefore it wasn't starting. And what I was doing was I kept on cranking and cranking and cranking and cranking, and my battery got hot, which kind of freaked me out because that's kind of the same issue that I had before, but before it was due to a short, which messed up the fuse box. But what I noticed was that none of the wires got hot except for the positive cable, and it actually started to melt this little rubber cover from the positive terminal. So I went ahead and stopped, let it cool down, pulled out the carburetor. That's when I noticed that as soon as I took off the float bowl, it was absolutely bone dry, and I was like, you know what, the stupid needle valve wasn't letting any gas in. Sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So I had to tear down the carburetor, clean everything out, which I had done before, and this is where we sit now. So she starts right up, especially after it's warmed up. On the first hitting on the start button, she starts right up. So kind of left that alone because I wanted to get on this brake panel tube off of the rear final drive. I painted it yesterday. The day before I cleaned it all up, got all that taken care of. But she's ready to roll as well. Excitement got the best of me, and I went ahead and installed the other one as well and torqued everything down. And then I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and stick in this rear axle. And then I remembered we have the bearing stop that we got to put there. And then I looked at the instructions, and sure enough, I'm supposed to slide in the axle first, put on the stop bearing collar, and then put the tube on. So I messed up, but you know, no big deal. Ain't something that I can't go ahead and fix now. I am missing one bolt right here. Initially, I think it's probably one of these bolts over here. Actually, this bolt right here that I'm missing, because it had the high lifter 2-inch lift kit, and that kit comes with a bolt. So when I picked it up from my cousin, whoever installed that lift kit probably lost that bolt. So just for the sake of getting that torqued down, I'm gonna go ahead and get that bolt. I'm gonna have to order a new one and then put that one on and torque it down, and I'll be ready to go. I might install the high lifter kit, but I am missing some parts to it, and excuse my workbench, but I might order a new one, because as you can see, this right here, it's crooked. So maybe I'll heat it up and try to straighten it out, but I gotta see if I have everything that I'm supposed to have. So right now we're moving on to installing the rear axle. And here she goes. So the instructions say for you to slide it in. I already put some Permatex on there. Slide it in until she seats, is what it says. There it goes. And there it is right there. She sat. Okay. So next is to put that ring collar on, that stop bearing collar, and here it is right here. Just because it's raw metal, I'm gonna go ahead and just put some grease on there just so it don't rust when it's in there. It shouldn't, because no moisture should technically get in there, and I don't plan on swamping it anytime soon, but I'll go ahead and do that just to be on the safe side. But since this is kind of messy, I'll do that and I'll come back. Okay, I went ahead and installed the bearing stop collar. I've already put the O-ring on the diff, along with some grease, as the instructions tell you. And now I'm gonna install this pretty thing right here. This is the bolt for the skid plate, so of course that goes down. I'll take this out, of course, otherwise it's not going to go in. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up just a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but just to be on the safe side, I'll do the crisscross pattern. So next one I'm going to go ahead and do, it's already set to, it says 33, but I went ahead and did 34. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 24. Torque that down to 24 and then make my way around and bring it back up to 33. Alright, so I got the left axle tube nuts tightened down to 34 pounds. The service manual says 33, but I went ahead and did 34. I had already installed the bearing and the seal as well, and I'm not going to torque these castle nuts down right now. I'm just going to put them in place. I want to make sure my fitment is good. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put some anti-seize Permatex right here on these splines, just to make sure that I don't have any issues with them later on down the road trying to take them off. Alright, and because I got the seal right there, I'm going to go ahead and put some marine grease on there. Yeah, it's out of this hub. It's not easy doing this. Probably said that a couple times already with one hand. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and slide this sucker in here into the seats. There she goes right there. And I'm gonna go put this on here for now. I'll put some Permatex on that later on. Alright, off to the other side. Alright, so I had to switch over to the tripod because doing that side one-handed was way too damn hard. So now we're on the right side. Got the brake panel ready to go. I've already installed the seal and the bearings as well, so that's ready to go. I'm not going to torque anything down. I just kind of want to make sure that the fitment is right. I ordered the seal and as well as the felt seal as well, that little dust seal, kind of the cotton one. So I'll come back later and I'll go ahead and remove that one, remove the brake panel, remove that seal, and put the new one on there. I've already got it on. So before we install this one, we're going to go ahead and put the O-ring on here. Instructions say for you to go ahead and grease it up, and so that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is a marine grease. So this helps with not allowing water to get in, and it also helps with keeping the O-ring in place. Alright. There she goes. Alright, so this is top side right here. This is where your brake cables go. So it has to sit in an angle. Once you got those situated, the bolts should line up. And put some grease on here too. That's where the bearings are going to rest. Not a lot, just enough to allow the bearings to slide on without any problems. All right, there she goes. Put your 4 nuts on. And just for now, so this can sit in all the way. Let's put this over. So sit in all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten these down. It says 33 pounds, but I'm just gonna go ahead and snug them down a little bit. Like I said, I'm gonna end up taking this off again anyways. So it's sitting flush, perfect. That's exactly how we want it to be. All right. Now we have the right side hub for the back end. Go ahead, put some grease on this as well. That's ready to go. Now this guy right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my sandblasting box and sandblast that. It's already developing a little bit of surface rust, but I'll get that with the sandblaster. This thing was actually full of all kinds of grime and sand, and I guess at some point what had happened was the rear diff had leaked gear oil, and it got on here, and the pads actually seized up and got stuck to this brake drum. So if you go back, well, I don't know if I have it on one of the videos, but the boot actually, not the boot, the brake pad itself actually fell off. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need new ones. Wow, holy crap. So anyway, this is what goes next. As you can see, I don't have any brake pads on there, but I'll be ordering those. This, like I said, this is just kind of more of a fitment. There it is right there. Cool. And you got your cover. I'm going to be throwing this one in the sandblasting box as well, getting rid of all this rust. If I get any moisture in here, I don't want it to get any worse. So once I sandblast this down all the way, I'll go ahead and spray down with some Rust-Oleum rust reformer and leave it like that. I'm not worried about it having some kind of gloss finish. Just plain old Jane functional. And besides, once you put the wheel on there, you're not really going to be able to see it. As you probably noticed, I need to put the O-ring that's on here as well. But again, I'm going to take all this off, so I'm not too worried about it right now. Again, this is just more for fitment. Cool. And last but not least, your right side rear hub. There she is. Now see, I don't know if you can notice, see or not, but once I put the seal on, it's gonna bump up against this flange right here and serve as the dust seal. And then we have the right side castle nut. Has some rust also, so I'll probably throw it in the sandblasting box and sandblast that puppy as well. All right. There she is. Operating rear end. Heck yeah, man, this thing's coming together. I'm telling you. And just to show y'all what I gotta go through, just to keep the content coming, I'm actually charging my phone at the same time. So, all right, I gotta walk around with this. So there it is. Rear brake line goes on the bottom. Top brake line goes on the top. Cool. There it is. All nice and shiny. Trying to make this thing look brand new as much as possible. A lot of long nights, tell you that. Man, that looks good. All right, there it is. That's probably it for tonight. Peace.